Welcome to today's podcast episode. We're going to dive into an incredibly important topic: social and communication skills. These are the skills we use every day to interact with others, whether it's in a personal or professional setting. If you're a beginner English learner, don't worry. We will break everything down into simple, easy to understand language. Let's get started. First, let's talk about what communication really is. Communication is how we share information with others. It's not just about speaking, it's also about listening, reading, and writing. Good communication helps us connect with others, build relationships, and solve problems together. It's one of the most important skills in life. Why is communication important? Good communication is essential in every part of our lives. Whether you're talking to a friend, a teacher, or a boss, being able to communicate clearly makes things easier. It helps us understand each other, avoid misunderstandings, and work together. If you're learning English, improving your communication skills can help you feel more confident when speaking, understanding others, and expressing yourself. The basics of communication. Now, let's start with the basics. When we communicate, we use three main things: words, tone of voice, and body language. Words. The most obvious part of communication is the words we say. If you're learning English, you need to focus on expanding your vocabulary and practicing grammar. The more words you know, the easier it is to express yourself. It's also important to learn simple phrases and expressions that you can use every day. For example, learning how to ask for directions or how to introduce yourself can help you in many situations. Tone of voice. How you say something is just as important as what you say. Your tone of voice can show how you're feeling. For example, if you say, "I'm fine," with a happy tone, it means something different than if you say it with a sad tone. When you speak, try to think about how your tone might affect the meaning of your words. Body language. Communication is not just about speaking. Your body language, like facial expressions and gestures, also play a big role in how you communicate. If you smile when you say hello, it shows that you're friendly. If you cross your arms, it can look like you're upset or not interested. Being aware of your body language is important because it helps people understand how you feel. Social communication skills. Now that we know the basics of communication, let's talk about social communication skills. Social communication is how we use communication to interact with others in social situations. Greeting people. In many cultures, how we greet others is very important. When you meet someone, you can say, "Hello," "Hi," "Good morning," or "Good afternoon." You can also ask, "How are you?" This is a way of starting a conversation and showing interest in the other person. When you ask someone how they are, it's polite to listen to their response and maybe ask a follow-up question like, "What have you been up to?" Or, "How was your weekend?" Making small talk. Small talk is a type of conversation that doesn't focus on anything serious. It's just about talking casually to make a connection with someone. In English, common topics for small talk are the weather, your job, hobbies, or things that are happening around you. For example, you could say, "It's such a nice day today," or "What do you like to do in your free time?" Small talk helps break the ice and is a good way to start a conversation with someone new. Asking questions is one of the best ways to keep a conversation going. If you ask someone questions about themselves, it shows that you're interested in them. You can ask simple questions like, "Where are you from?" or "What do you do for work?" When answering questions, try to give a little more information than just yes or no. For example, instead of saying "I'm fine," you could say, "I'm doing well, thank you. I've been busy with work lately." Communication is not just about speaking. Listening is just as important. When you listen carefully to someone, it shows that you respect them and are interested in what they have to say. Active listening means paying attention, nodding, and asking questions to show that you're listening. For example, if someone says, "I just moved to a new city," you could ask, "How do you like the city so far?" This shows you're listening and care about their experience. Politeness is very important in communication, especially in social settings. In English, we often use phrases like please, thank you, and excuse me to be polite. For example, if you need someone's help, you could say, "Could you please help me with this?" Or, "Would you mind telling me the time?" These polite phrases make the conversation more friendly and respectful. When learning English, it's important to remember that communication styles can be different in different cultures. For example, in some cultures, people might use more formal language when talking to strangers or superiors, while in other cultures, informal language is used more often. For example, in some English-speaking countries, it's common to shake hands when you meet someone for the first time, while in other cultures, people might bow or hug. Understanding cultural differences can help you communicate more effectively and avoid misunderstandings. Now let's go a bit deeper into body language. As we mentioned earlier, body language is a huge part of how we communicate, and it can help us express our emotions and feelings. Here are a few examples of body language in social situations. In many cultures, making eye contact is a sign of respect and attention. When you're talking to someone, look at them in the eyes, but don't stare too much. This shows that you're listening and interested. A smile is one of the easiest ways to show that you're friendly and happy. Smiling when you greet someone or when you're listening shows warmth and kindness. Hand gestures can help you emphasize a point or show your feelings. For example, waving your hand can be a sign of saying hello or goodbye. However, different cultures may interpret hand gestures differently, so it's important to be aware of what certain gestures mean in different places. How you stand or sit can also send messages about how you're feeling. If you stand with your shoulders back and your body facing the person you're talking to, it shows that you're confident and interested. If you cross your arms or turn your body away, it might seem like you're not interested in the conversation. In today's world, communication isn't just face-to-face. It's also happening online. With the rise of social media, email, and text messages, digital communication has become a huge part of our lives. But digital communication can be tricky because you can't see the person's body language or hear their tone of voice. When communicating online, it's important to be clear and polite in your messages. If you're writing an email or text, always start with a greeting, like hello or hi, and end with a polite closing like thank you or best regards. If you're not sure how to say something, ask for clarification or use simple language to avoid misunderstandings. If you want to improve your communication skills, here are some tips. Practice, practice, practice. The more you practice speaking, listening, and reading in English, the better you will become. Try to have conversations with English speakers as much as possible. You can also practice by listening to podcasts or watching movies in English. Learn new vocabulary. The more words you know, the easier it will be to express yourself. Learn new words every day and try to use them in your conversations. Ask for feedback. If you're unsure about your communication skills, ask for feedback from someone you trust. They can help you see areas where you can improve. Be patient. Learning to communicate in a new language takes time. Don't get discouraged if you make mistakes. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow. In today's podcast, we've talked about the basics of social and communication skills. Communication is a powerful tool that helps us connect with others and share ideas. Whether it's speaking, listening, or understanding body language, we all use these skills every day. If you're an English beginner, remember that it's okay to make mistakes. Just keep practicing, and over time, your skills will improve. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you found this podcast helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave a comment with any questions or tips you'd like to share. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember that communication is key to building connections with others.